by throwing him to the ground and placing heavy rocks on his chest. They said they would stop if he would agree to worship their gods. Each time they put another rock on him, Bilal would say, "One, one." It was his way of telling them that there was only one God and that he remained God's servant. Bilal laid back on his pillow, thinking about what he had read. Bilal felt a crushing pain on his chest. The rocks were heavy. They were hot from the desert sun. His skin was coated with sweat, and he could scarcely breathe. Bilal heard voices chanting, "Change your name, and we will stop." In his dream, Bilal was calm. "My name is Bilal. I am a Muslim," he told the angry people. Despite the pain, he knew that he had nothing to fear, for he was pleasing God. Bilal awakened with a start. His room was dark and cool, but the dream was still with him. At school the next morning, Bilal saw Scott standing in front of Ayesha's locker. The boy wore a t-shirt draped over his head. When Ayesha approached her locker, Scott turned to a friend and spoke in a loud voice. "I got a terrible haircut yesterday," he said. "Now I have to wear this t-shirt on my head until my hair grows back." His friend burst out laughing. So did some of the students in the hallway. Ayesha stopped at her locker. "While you're waiting for your hair to grow, would you please move away from my locker?" A few of the students giggled. Scott pulled the shirt off his head and glared at Ayesha. "This is America," he growled. "We don't wear dumb things on our heads." "If this is America, I can wear what I want," Ayesha said, lifting her voice and head defiantly. "And I want to cover my hair. Now please move." "She wants to cover her hair," Scott told his friend. "Maybe we were wrong. Maybe she's not bald after all." Bilal hurried to his sister's side. "Leave her alone, Scott," he said firmly. Scott and his friend stopped laughing. "What do you care, Bill?" Scott demanded. "She's weird. She should go back to her own country." The hallway was silent. Every pair of eyes were watching Bilal, Scott, and Ayesha. Bilal took a deep breath. "My name is not Bill. It is Bilal. My sister and I are Muslims," he said, stepping between Scott and Ayesha. "And America is our country. We were born here." A school bell shattered the silence. Students walked away without another word. Soon Bilal and Ayesha stood alone in the hallway. "Ayesha," Bill said to his sister, "I'm sorry I didn't stand up for you yesterday when that boy pulled on your scarf." "It's okay," Ayesha replied with a smile. "I'm glad you were on my side today." As they turned to leave, Bilal caught sight of Mr. Ali standing in a classroom door. From Mr. Ali's expression, Bilal knew he had seen everything. Bilal smiled at his teacher, who responded with a nod and a thumbs-up sign. After school, Bilal joined some boys who were playing basketball at a nearby park. Bilal ran up and down the court, passed the ball to his teammates, and shot at the basket. The rhythm of the game helped him forget the trouble at school, but not for long. Bilal saw a boy standing behind the fence, frowning at him. The boy was Scott. For a few minutes, Bilal ignored him. Then a new game started. Bilal walked over to the fence. "Scott, do you want to play?" he asked. "You can be on my team." Scott looked surprised. His frown faded a little. "I guess so," he said, "but I can't stay very long." Bilal dribbled the ball down the court and took a shot. It arced toward the basket, but bounced high off the rim, right back into Bilal's hands. Bilal saw Scott standing near the basket. He pushed a bounce pass to his teammate, and Scott scored an easy layup. 2 points! As they ran back down the court, Scott caught up with Bilal. "Nice pass, Bill," he said. "Oh, I mean, Bilal." Bilal grinned. "Great shot," he told Scott. When the game was over, one of the older boys stopped playing. "I need to take a break," he said. "I'll be back in a few minutes." He walked off the court. "I have to go too, Scott. I'll see you in school tomorrow, Bilal." Bilal waved at Scott and smiled. Then he asked a teammate where the older boy had gone. "He's Muslim," the boy said. "He always prays in the afternoon." Bilal stared at the boy in surprise. "You don't mind that he stops to pray?" "No, it gives me more time to practice," the boy answered. Bilal caught up with the older boy. "Peace be upon you," he said, "and peace be upon you. I'm Hakim." Hakim held out his hand, and Bilal shook it. "My name is Bilal." The simple words seemed to come from his heart. Saying his name made him feel strong. "Let's pray together," he said. The two boys washed for prayer at a drinking fountain. Hakim took a prayer rug from his duffel bag and spread it on the ground. Bilal stood beneath a clear blue sky as Hakim sat beside him. The autumn sun shone warmly, and a gentle breeze cooled their faces. A quiet feeling of peace settled over Bilal. With a voice carried to the hills by the wind, for Hakim and for himself, Bilal gave the call to prayer. And these are the author's notes. And she writes, Muslims pray a special type of prayer called salat at 5 specified times throughout the day. Before the prayer, the adhan, or call to prayer, is recited in the Arabic language. Here is an English translation of the adhan. God is the greatest. God is the greatest. God is the greatest. God is the greatest. I bear witness that nothing deserves to be worshipped except God. I bear witness that nothing deserves to be worshipped except God. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. Come to prayer, come to prayer. Come to success, come to success. God is greatest.